You guys are not going to like what I'm saying here, but you actually have to put this in your life for it to work and actually see the results, because a lot of people don't, and this is what is screwing them over. What's up, guys? In this video, I'll be showing you how to set and achieve your entrepreneurship goals. There's no wasting time. There's no BS. I have nothing to sell you at all. And the best part is all of these ideas I'm going to share in this video apply to all the other parts in your life. So I'd really recommend to stay to the end. I do about over 5 figures myself every single month in SMA, and I'm just giving this all away for free. There's no incentive on my side. I have nothing to sell you. So let's get straight into it. How do you set and achieve your goals? So what I propose to you guys right here is called the trichotomy of control. So this is actually also proposed by Epictetus in his philosophy books, but there's things that are outside your control and there are things that are inside of your control. And then also, lastly, there's things that are in partial control. So things that are outside of your control is what your neighbor is doing today, what the person, let's say, knocking on your door is doing, what the prospect is mad or normal today, or if he's happy to buy or not to buy. So all these things are out of your control. Things that are in your control are your actions, day-to-day actions. Did you go to the gym today? What is your diet like? How many outreaches did you do to prospects? These are all in your control because you do them yourself. And then thirdly, the partial control, where you're playing a tennis match against someone and you have to practice yourself to be good at tennis, but then also you have no idea how good the opponent is. So this is the trichotomy of controls. And how the hell, you're asking me, does this apply to setting goals? So when setting goals, you need to actually focus on the inputs instead of the outputs. So a lot of people set goals and go, I'm going to hit 50K a month. And they sit around in their basement and don't know how to get to it. Well, that's obviously stupid. You need to actually set the goal and then derive the inputs. So what do I mean by the inputs? So sit down and you have a goal, right? You have an output. So obviously 50K a month is an output. It is something you get from doing a bunch of actions to get to the output. This is common sense. So you need to actually sit down and ask yourself these things. To get to 50,000 a month, how many cold calls do I do? Obviously, you need a sales call to get to 50,000 a month. You need sales calls and you need close clients. So how many clients do I need? How many sales calls do I need? And how many cold calls do I need? So what you need to do is derive the inputs from the outputs. So you want to hit, let's say 10K. I'll put it to 10K now. And you need to do 20 sales calls to get a client if you're first starting out. I don't know how good your closing percentage is, but let's say 1 in 20 close. How many cold calls do you need to do in a week to get 20 appointments? And then you actually start putting things actually into rationality and put these things on a screen. Because if you have this number on the paper in front of you, 50,000 a month, but you have no idea how to get there, it's just completely stupid, because obviously you don't know the actions to get to the outcome. This is very common sense. So I want you in your business to actually sit down and go, hey, how many cold calls do I need to make a sales call? How many sales calls do I need to do to actually close a client? And how many clients do I need to actually get to this goal? So once you start putting things into perspective that way, it makes it much easier to actually gauge how much to make a month, because things are put in perspective. You need to do this many cold calls a day. You need to do this many sales calls a day, and I need to close this many clients. So it's very, very simple to go from there. And secondly, you guys are not going to like what I'm saying here, but you actually have to put this in your life for it to work and actually see the results, because a lot of people don't, and this is what is screwing them over. So eliminate absolutely everything that does not make you move faster towards these inputs. So these inputs I'm talking about, keep these in mind. So yes, you'll have to delete social media. You'll have to delete TikTok and short form content especially. That is absolutely killing your attention span. It's absolutely counterproductive. It's a waste of time. So once you're scrolling TikTok for 50 minutes of your day, you go to sit down and read a book, you can't pay attention to the book for 5 seconds. I've done this myself in the last few years, and I've actually completely deleted all myself. I'll get into how to get away from all of these things. So I also want you to stop partying, and I want you to stop hanging out with geeks. I say geeks as people who don't have goals in their life. They're purposeless and have no reason to get up in the morning. These are geeks. They don't know what they're doing, and you need to remove them from your life. And that's you can say that's a bit offensive, but I don't really care, because if you want to achieve great things in life, you're the average of the people around you. So you need to obviously up the people around you and upgrade yourself in the meantime. Getting back to what we call monk mode, Ayman Ghazi's popularized the monk mode saying, and it works. It actually works very, very well. It's what's got me to the state I am at the moment. It's probably what's got me here, number one thing. So subtraction. So once you're starting out, you have all these social media apps gripping your attention. You have notifications left and right. So subtraction before addition. So what I mean by that is, when you're starting an entrepreneurship, you're wanting to achieve goals, you need to remove things first. You need to take out Instagram, you need to take out Twitter, you need to take out TikTok. Subtract these things from your life before you add in anything, because if you try to add in things, those social media apps are going to take your attention back, and those parties and those partiers that you're hanging out with are going to take your attention as well. So subtract all of these things. So like I said, stop doing these things. These are the primary ones, but I bet if you do an evaluation of your life right now, you can evaluate all of the things that you are doing wrong. So do that immediately and eliminate. And then once you have things subtracted and your life is boring, so to say, you're in isolation, you don't have any people gripping your attention that you don't want to hang around, you don't have social media, then you can start adding things into your life, including business, things to hit your goals, which I will include in 1 second here. So, quick tip that I want to give you, and this is some free value that I'm going to put in the video. It's helped me immensely. So, obviously I said to delete social media apps from your phone. If you want to do what I did, only use social media on your desktop. And then also use this thing. It's called a feed blocker called News Feed Eradicator. So this is what this looks like. It's literally Instagram and all of these social media apps, which completely blocks out the news feed, so you can't be scrolling on Reels for 50 minutes, for an hour, and all of these stupid things. So you only have messages. So this is really valuable to me because I have a lot of networking connection on Instagram, and I message people a lot on Instagram, but every time I go on to message someone, it would pop up the news feed. It was really stupid. So I got an extension to completely block off the news feed, and now I have messages, and that's it. But this has been the highest ROI thing in my life because it's literally just messages, and I cannot click on anything. And you can do this with Facebook, you can do this with Instagram and TikTok, and all of these things where you literally can only access messages. And this is called Newsfeed Eradicator if anybody wants it. I'll put it in the description of this video. It's a Chrome extension. Back to business, guys. You've removed things in your life, and you are just like, what the heck do I do in my business to achieve my goal? Let's go. So when achieving your goals, when trying to achieve your goals, operate from the law of constraints. So this is Alex Hormozi's #1 rule when scaling a business. So you know it works. It's a $100 million business he runs, and it's his #1 rule. So what the law of constraints actually states is usually there's one thing that's actually holding the business back, but you need to analyze the thing, you need to find what it is, and make it better for it to not be constraining. So think of it like this. If there's a water pipe, and there's water going through the pipe, and there's a leak going through the pipe, obviously, a lot of the water, depending on the size of the constraint, depending on the size of the hole in the pipe, is going to leak out. And you will not increase the flow of the water through the pipe that much if you still have that constraint and that hole in that water pipe that's seeping through. It will be completely useless because you're just wasting all of this water, because the water is going through the pipe and it's going completely out of the bottom. It's not useful. So what that is you might have a great service delivery, you might have, say, a great salesperson, but the person who's calling the prospect on a cold call is doing a horrible job. Or you might have great sales, let's say great front end with calling prospects and outreach, but then your service delivery sucks, so you have no testimonials and you have no evidence that your service works. So I want you to do this. I want you to list out the components of your business, front end sales, outreach, service delivery, and all these things, and then list them out as weak or strong. So I want you to establish the whole business, just write it down on a sheet of paper, it shouldn't take you that long, and then just literally think, is this the constraint? Think of the part of the business that is the constraint and alleviate it, because once you fix that one part of the business, I bet it's going to 3x, it's going to 5x. And I've actually encouraged people to get mentors in the past, because if you actually get a mentor, like I have a really good one, he literally would analyze a constraint from just talking to me in 5 seconds. He's like, well, that's what you're doing wrong. And I'm like, well, I didn't know that. And sometimes you just don't know what you don't know, right? So you need people to point out the constraints in your business to upgrade the business. So yeah, when you're alleviating the constraint, watch YouTube videos, reach out in your network and ask what people are doing. Like I said, even get a mentor, and even read books. If you don't know how to write cold email, you don't know how to copywrite, read a copywriting book. If you can't manage your emotions, read an emotional management book. Like, even some of these constraints are in your own mind. So I want you to alleviate the constraints and actually just focus on the business, and you'll end up 5x, 10xing your business even. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please just leave a subscribe and a like button. If you need to message me for anything, my DMs are always open, and my Instagram will be in the description to message me. But don't scroll on there. That's useless. Don't do that. See you guys later.